Welcome to the Liberal Informer. I'm your host, JB. Today we are going to talk about Martha Karua. So what the heaven happened to Martha Karua? This is a lady, the so-known Iron Lady. Is the Iron Lady who was there's a time that she was the hottest thing that we ever knew in Kenyan politics, and suddenly there came a time that she was one of the coldest human beings we ever knew in Kenyan politics, for lack of a better word. And why am I saying this? Martha Karua, initially we knew her as the Iron Lady of Kenyan politics, especially during 2007 election, when she was the only person who stood up with Kibaki. In fact, we were told that Martha Karua was the only man who stood in Kibaki's government during the 2007 elections, which was very, very sensible, and which was something that made a lot of sense. Because if you ask me, I will tell you that during that time, everybody was in fear. Like, majority of people were not ready to stand up with Kibaki because, the election was, and it was obviously stolen, and everybody around was just asking, like, everybody around were just asking themselves, like, how can I stand up? Like, majority of the MPs and the ministers who were standing around Kibaki that time could not stand up and tell us, and stand up and say, and stand in front of people and support this man publicly. But Martha Karua was the person who even ran away with the certificate and made sure that Kibaki was sworn in at night. So and consequently, after that, she ended up being appointed as the Minister for Water and Minister for Justice. So anyway, putting that aside now, during those times she was really hot, and now came 2007. That 2007 that now after 2007 elections, now came to 2013. Sorry, and 2013 elections, she did vie for the elections, and this time she really lost. In fact, she performed worse than Abdu Badida, somebody who was really new in the Kenyan politics at that time. So everybody came and we were asking ourselves, what happened to the Martha Karua? In fact, people were saying that this lady was done and gone, and according to her, I think her self-confidence really went down, and she decided now in 2017 to support the then president, who is now the current president, Uhuru Kenyatta. And then she went down from presidency and decided to go and vie for Kirinyaga gubernatorial seat, which allegedly people say that she won, which, if you ask me, I think she won. But she was rigged out, and she even appealed the case at East African Court, and she was compensated some good amount of money. But anyway, as we continue with the same issue, we wonder, okay, fine, what happened to this lady that now lost even lost terribly to Abdu Badida and the rest in 2013. Come 2017, she lost, for lack of a better word, because she was not, in Kenya, the person who wins is the person who is announced, not necessarily the person who garners the most votes. So in Kirinyaga County, she also lost. Now she was coming from gracefully downwards, from grace to grass, but in a very slow motion way. Now this time we were even expecting her to go and vie for MP and even lose at the same time. But now, anyway, that's a joke. But now, coming back to this lady, the Iron Lady, now we are asking ourselves right now that what happened to her, that suddenly this is a lady who lost elections consecutively. She was out of government for all this time, then suddenly stood up. You remember in 2017, she even decided to support Uhuru, just to try and run on the wave of Mount Kenya wave, because everybody was kamwana, everybody was voting for Uhuru, because it was their son, and it was their son's time to be re-elected, and it was a very stiff competition between the then former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who even after that challenged the election and was nullified. So anyway, coming in forward, let's fast forward now to right now. What really happened to Martha Karua to being the person who lost the elections this much? She was moving from one grace to a lower grace. Then suddenly, she's now spoken as one of the best, the biggest, and the most powerful politicians in Kenya right now, because right now everybody is coming out to support Martha, even the people who never used to support her before. We see the human rights organization coming forward and saying that now we are behind Martha Karua, and we are supporting Raila, because not of Raila, but because of Martha Karua. We are seeing the likes of women groups who were not supporting her before. The women group never supported her before, even when she was running out for the top seat. And now they're coming forward and saying that we are supporting Raila because of Martha Karua. Then come back now even to central Kenya. You see the old men and the old guys from central Kenya, the leaders and the cultural leaders also coming forward to support Martha Karua. What changed? What happened? You see, what really fixed things, and what made Raila even to forget his long-term friend Kalonzo Musyoka and choose Martha Karua to be his running mate? Because, okay, you usually say that you don't, a good coach always says that you don't change a winning team. Like if your squad won the previous game, you don't come and try to fix the team. You just play it at it were. But now Raila comes, and because 2017 he won the election, that's why it was nullified. He decides now to come with a different team and drops down his deputy, who was Kalonzo Musyoka, and now replaces him with Martha Karua. And now suddenly the whole country, even before that, if you ask me, Raila had no choice but to choose Karua, because even before he made this decision, the whole country was on his neck. Everybody was like, it's time for women, it's time for Martha Karua, it's time for Martha to be the next deputy president. Now, what really happened? What changed for her? What made these things? Because we shall know that if you are dying, you're dying, and if you're coming up, you're coming up. What changed that suddenly she just stopped going down, and now she's like the most powerful woman politician in the country, and almost is in the top 5 most powerful politicians in Kenya. And I will tell you from my political knowledge that, number one of the things that really made Martha Karua to get to where she is right now is, number one, we usually say that a character precedes you, in that when you are going to a place, when you are going to a position, or when you are going to a location, your character tends to get there before you. And what do I mean by this? I mean that when you get to a place and people know that you're coming, for instance, there's a way in which people are going to treat you because of the stories they've heard about you and how you've behaved in the past. And so it doesn't matter what you'll come and say, it doesn't matter what you'll do, as long as people knew you. For instance, if somebody is coming and she's a prostitute, and we all know the lady who's just coming in the church right now is a prostitute, and it's the one we are expecting right now. By the time she gets to the door, either people are going to continue doing whatever it is they were doing, if singing or praying, because they know that's a prostitute coming in. No much attention, because no much respect for her, because her character is not good enough, for lack of a better word. I mean, some people will turn, and people will not turn for a good reason. People will not turn around to check because she's admirable or something. People will turn to look at her with some funniness. Oh, that's the prostitute. If you're really understanding what I'm saying, people look at her with looking down on her, not really looking like up to her, if you understand me. But now, let's say, for instance, you're in your church, and I'm talking specifically about Kenyan churches. In Kenyan churches, we usually respect our political leaders so much, which something I'm really against though. But now here it is, the leaders come in, and we are told that today the MCA of the area is coming in. What usually happens? Number one, what is going to happen is they're going to make sure that the church is going to be washed, it's going to be cleaned. Even the windows which you never used to clean normally, they're going to be cleaned an extra mile. You see, they're going to do extra because this guy is coming. If they used to just wash the pavements, this time they're going to go outside to the gate and wash. And even if they had some Kenyan flag, they'll raise it around somewhere in a corner, strategic, so that when the guy comes, he'll see. They'll have some ladies around, arranged, so that when the guy comes and he lights from his car, they'll be there singing and welcoming the visitor. Then there will be a special seat in front waiting for him to sit with these bodyguards around. Like, that's how it's done in Kenya. So when this guy comes in, already, like, people already know what they're expecting. When this guy steps into the compound, you see how the people will behave. Everything will stop. People will stand up and people will be like clapping and, yeah, mheshimiwa coming, karibu. You see, that's what I'm talking about. Your character precedes you. It doesn't matter what this politician will say. It doesn't matter what he'll do when he gets there. Already people are going to be happy. And that's why even when he just is giving the microphone and he just takes this microphone and he slaps. I don't know why they usually slap the microphone before they start. And after slapping the microphone and just people start clapping, you see. Because we're already excited even before they get him, before even he does anything. Already people have a character. They have a prejudgment of them, a picture of this person is in their mind because of the stories that they've heard about this guy. Okay, now coming back to the Martha Karua issue. Now I've explained to you guys how character precedes you. Now talking about the character of Martha Karua, if you ask, like, our politicians, majority of them are just corrupt. But one of the human beings that we know in Kenya that has one of the cleanest name, because she's never been accused of really something and substantiated, is Martha Karua. Like, she's known as somebody who doesn't take nonsense. She's somebody who doesn't allow anybody to compromise her job. And we even remember during, after all these, the 2007 election that she really fought for, she did not last long in her office, and she quit the moment she noticed that some things which are happening under her that she could not allow. Because in Kenyan politics, they usually say that when you get into the system, you have to work with the system, otherwise you'll not survive, because people are really corrupt around you, and if you want to really survive there, you have to work along with them. And Martha Karua is just one person that has always been known to always quit. She's always ready to quit as long as she notices that things are not happening the way they are supposed to happen. Things are not following the constitution. So when you have such a character, people will just tend to like you. People just liking you will become easy, because sometimes you are just not winning, not because you're bad, but because your opponent is just too strong. So Martha Karua is just one person that initially she had a great character that was easy to sell this time round, but prior to this she never could use that for her advantage, because the opponents that she had then were really strong. She was fighting against the government all this time. Like, she was always standing against the government, vying against the government. And like, in every elections in this world, developing countries, it's always very difficult for a person that is standing against the government. It's never easy. It's normally such a task, because the government tend to control the media, they tend to control the police, they tend to control the military, they even control communication around, even the judges in some of the countries, and even the electoral system. So that's why it's usually very, very difficult for anybody fighting against somebody who's in government. So number one thing that I can tell you, that one thing that has really changed and really worked for Martha Karua is just the fact that now it is the right timing. She just came at the right time. She already had the character. She didn't have so much to work on. She's not somebody who needed polishing to be appointed into a position. She was good enough, only that she found herself at the wrong place at the wrong time. Then number two, the reason why Martha Karua has really changed and things are working for her good is that thing called the Raila effect. Some people may believe it, some people may accept it, some people may not, but the fact remains that one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful politician in Kenya is Raila Odinga, as far as not really power, because the most powerful person is the president, but I mean power, in that power of the people. Somebody you can stand, it's only one politician in Kenya who can stand with you and raise your hand and say you are Tosha, and then you take it, because people will listen to him when he says that. When he says that this person is good enough, according to my opinion, guys, I think this person is good enough. It's majority of the times people will listen to Raila. Like, majority of the time, not all the time, but majority of the time, people will just tend to listen to him. So he has that influence that people just tend to find easy not to find difficult to resist. So when it comes, there are very many situations. I can give you a number of examples where Raila has gone against the tides and made people vote against somebody that people never thought they could. A good example is Rarieda in Siaya County, where in 2007 people voted out Raphael Tuju, who was the best performing MP right then, and everybody was like, why? And the only reason that the only mistake that Tuju made was the fact that he supported the then President Kibaki and went against the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Just that. But otherwise, he was the strongest candidate. In fact, everybody thought that he was going to win. So that's just one of the few examples that I can give you to show you that this guy just has that power to raise your arm and tell you that you are going to win this. And that's why I can only promise you guys that the governor of Mombasa is going to be from ODM because of just the same Raila effect. The governor of Nairobi is going to be Gade because of the Raila effect. The governor of Kisumu is going to be Anyang'o because of Raila effect. The governor of Homa Bay is going to be Wanga because of the Raila effect. It's just something. There's just something that this guy does to the people, and people just listen to him. You see, that's number two, the Raila effect. So the moment Raila appointed Martha Karua, that was it. That was game over, and that was the moment everything changed for Martha Karua. That's the moment her political career changed forever, and she'll never be the same again. She can easily now stand for president, and she'll easily win. I can tell you guys. The last reason why Martha Karua changed and things really changed for her is the fact that is called the government and the Uhuru Kenyatta effect. Now let me explain this. This is, you keep around. If you listen to this to the end, guys, for those who are listening to this, I'm going to give you a bonus reason, and this is going to blow your mind, guys. Why Martha Karua is just changing politics in Kenya so badly, guys. Okay, the Uhuru effect is number one. Uhuru is the most powerful man in Kenya. So when he supports you, this is what happens. You'll find the military to support you. You'll find the policemen to protect you. You'll find government machineries behind you. And that is, if not enough, I don't know what else you're looking for in politics. Because in your campaigns, you need that. You need that resources. You need all the possible help you can get from any sources. That's why you always see Ruto running all the time, crying over the support was supposed to get from Uhuru, because it was a critical support for him. And the moment he missed that, that's the moment he was like, this thing, I might be losing this stuff. So for Karua, the moment you remember the other day Uhuru was talking to the Kikuyu elders, he told them that I chose Martha Karua. I settled for Martha Karua because I believe when Raila was going to choose Martha Karua, they talked with Uhuru Kenyatta. And what you should always know, guys, that Raila was supposed to be the president and Uhuru was supposed to come up with the deputy president. Guys, if you didn't know that now you know. So that's why Uhuru even said that he came up with Martha Karua, because he knew Martha Karua is the only person who could keep and who could maintain the interest of the people from Mount Kenya. And that's the person he believed, that he trusted. That speaks language. That speaks volume. That tells you one thing, that this is just one person that Uhuru supports 100%. And if Uhuru supports you 100%, the president supports you 100%, my friend, you're 10 steps ahead of your opponent. So that's just one effect that this thing hit on Martha Karua so badly. Wow. Then finally, for the main point which I was telling you guys, is this thing which is the bonus, is Martha Karua changed and everything turned better for her the moment Kenya was ready for a deputy president who is a lady. Like, for the first time, Kenya was really ready for the deputy president was a lady. And this was just during after Kibaki, former President Kibaki died and people were going through the funeral. You remember the deputy president from Uganda was a woman, and people saw that and people liked the way she was carrying herself. In fact, Kenyans were saying that they didn't even know that Uganda had a deputy president. And it was this time when Uhuru, the president, was really having issues and insulting each other with the deputy president in public, and Kenyans did not like that. Then suddenly came this lady from Uganda and showing how humble she looks, and we've never even heard of her. And then Suluhu the other time, just months time, now this was reminding people about Tanzania and President Suluhu. People were like, wow, Magufuli also had a deputy president as a woman. So Kenyans were like, we are the only people who are remaining behind, we have to do something about it. So it was just the right time, and Kenyans were ready for a woman deputy president. Now this is why people just stood up and everybody was like, we are going to support her. And yeah, so that's what's up, guys, and thank you for listening in. If you want to listen to more videos on 2022 elections and every news and every information that is coming in and deep analysis like these ones, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video for people like you. See you in the next one.